If you want to bury a story, release it on a Friday. Breaking news. New South Wales Liberal Party members expelled over branch stacking. At least 6 members of the New South Wales Liberal Party will be expelled over an elaborate branch stacking scheme in which people were signed up and given fake email addresses. Now, I'm sitting here with former State Executive Member Matthew Camenzuli, the man that took Scott Morrison to court to stand up for democracy. What's going on? Is it actually branch stacking? Because I don't have a lot of trust in the mainstream media. What's going on?
I think it's more people, power brokers in the party, throwing away their political enemies, getting them out, rebalancing numbers. There's a pre-selection due out tomorrow for the seat of Riverstone. My understanding is 3 of the people that have been thrown out as selectors at that selection. It was going to be a close run thing. That might be just enough to shift the balance away from the person who might have won. Right. I think that's entirely a bad thing.
So let me get this straight. You've got a pre-selection tomorrow. It's critical. They've done this on a Friday, the day before pre-selection, so that they can get the numbers to get who they want in.
Look, among other things, but these things don't happen by accident. And I mean, in my experience with the party, things are often used as an excuse for more expedient political outcomes.
Right. And is this just from your faction? Are they just going after your conservative faction?
Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, there were a broad group of people that were the people of goodwill for the party. Right. But, the funny thing about the factional system was it was starting not to work anymore because people were starting it started to become the people that wanted to see democracy and see the party work versus the people that liked the status quo and wanted to keep the party as undemocratic as possible. Yeah. So certainly, as my understanding now, subsequent to the article that you're talking about, another member of the state executive has subsequently been thrown out as well. So that's from the Conservative side. There's a state executive member from the moderate side. This isn't about factions at this point. It's about power and control. Right. It's about people wanting to get outcomes, and there are other outcomes that this makes easier as well. So it's not just the pre-selection tomorrow, it's other things too. Rebalancing the power on the state executive has a much deeper and broader impact. It makes things like captain's picks far more possible. Yeah. It makes it a lot easier to thwart the democracy and the rights of the members, which we've all fought so hard for, and it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart.
So going back to this purge is happening live this afternoon. I mean, these numbers, 6 members, that's out of date. It's happening as we're talking. So the original accusation in this article by Lucy McCormack at 5 p.m. and Nick McKenzie is that these members were branch stacking. Now, are you alluding to the fact that maybe this is just the excuse they're using to throw them out, or was there actually branch stacking that was going on?
When it comes to the reporters' names that you mentioned, mate, I talk to a lot of reporters regularly. I find that most of the time reporters will go on the information that they get. Right. You see, so I don't blame the reporters in this situation at all. Okay. It's the sources of the information. So the story's being spun. It's a spun story. It clearly is a spun story. Right. There might be some grains of truth in that. The state director might well be doing an investigation into something that he believes is something that's worth investigating. Yeah. But whether that something is actually worth investigating or this is just a beat up, well, that's another thing. Yeah. My personal view and my personal belief is I think this is one of the greater beat ups I've seen. Right. And I think it's being, if you want to see how important it was for the party to really deal with this sort of issue, just have a look at when it breaks. Yeah. Have a look at when it gets dealt with. It's getting dealt with on the day before one pre-selection at a time when they're struggling to get captain's picks through, when things aren't going the way they want them to go. Yeah. And by making this change now, it will have an impact on political outcomes internally within the party. Yeah. So for mine, I think this is more about the outcome rather than the problem. And if the problem was so bad, why deal with it today and not months and months and months ago when it first broke? Yeah. And so for mine, I think that this is more of a beat up, and from what little detail I have, I don't think there's much to it. It's
astonishing to me because as someone that, I'm outside the party system for good reason, I try to tell people, join a party, make a difference there. Now, the other, we saw over the course of this last year, Alex Antic in South Australia making a huge difference, getting a lot more Christians, a lot more conservatives into the party to pre-select their candidates. So that's working like a well-oiled machine. But New South Wales seems not to be. We saw the other night, you were on Sky News, and we saw you having a chat with Erin Molan, and after you we saw the opposition leader get up there, and Peter Dutton, and make the point that, look, I don't know what's going on in New South Wales, but federally we will be running pre-selections democratically. Was that a tacit endorsement of what you're doing in New South Wales, and you're trying to fight for democracy in the Liberal Party?
It's a good question, Joel. I really can't speak for Peter. I believe Peter to be a man of principle. I believe him to be a person of his word, and I believe him to be a man of goodwill and good intention, both for the party and for the people of Australia, which I'm a supporter of his. I think he's a good guy. Right. I think he's going to fall at some point to the mercy of the New South Wales division, and I guess we'll just have to see how that pans out for him. Right. I wish him all the very best of luck, and anything I can do to help him from outside here. I can't help him inside, but whatever I can do to help him outside here, I'll do.
It's possible that it's
you just want democracy, mate.
No, I understand. Is it too much to ask? I mean,
it seems that way.
I send people to all parties, including the Greens. I say, go join the party of your choosing and make a difference, make a change. I can't help but feel like the Greens have a more democratic process than the New South Wales Liberal Party.
Well, the Greens is an incorporated association that runs pre-selections. In other words, it's both justiciable, so you can take it to court because it's a formal structure. And it has got pre-selections. It does have pre-selections, right?
It's a sad indictment.
It's democratic. But look, I want to say something else about the Liberal Party. It has to be a broad church. It can't just be one-sided. When the Liberal Party only has one group of people in it, the Conservatives, then it's not a true Liberal Party. When it only has the Libertarian side without the conservatism, then it's not really the true Liberal Party. It needs both. The bird needs two wings to fly.
Right.
Well, needs two wings to fly.
Well, my audience knows that I'm obviously of the opinion that in some states it makes sense to join the Libs. In other states, it makes sense to have a combination of the Libs and the actual freedom parties and the freedom centres that keep the major parties honest. But what I cannot stand for is seeing this undemocratic attack by the establishment of the Liberal Party, both federally and now on a state level in New South Wales. It's disgusting, and it's going to yield the same results.
Well, it started with local government, to be honest. I mean, we were in court a number of times.
Right.
It wasn't just in court the one time. That made all the news. As I think I said to Graham the other day, and John, this has been a long battle. This battle started some 10 years ago for selections, and we're almost there, and just as you get there, it moves back just that little bit, but it's getting harder and harder. I mean, now look at the extreme lengths people are going to thwart this democracy. I really hope, I'm pulling for the Liberal Party, but on the other side, there is more reason again for us to come at this from the outside to get some good quality independence, some decent people. Choice200.com. Choice200.com. This is where the rubber's going to hit the road. Right. Real people, ordinary Australians, who care about the sorts of things that I care about, that I know you care about, just putting that pressure back on to let this particular political party, the Liberal Party, which is supposed to be the party of the individual, of choice, of small government, of small business, focusing on the middle class, property ownership, the democratisation of all things, really. What's your giving message, everybody a crack.
But what's your message? There's a lot of there might possibly be people listening right now, and they're in the Liberal Party. They're awaiting perhaps a letter similar to yours and similar to some of these members that have just been expelled. What's your message to them?
Stay in, and don't quit the party. See, what happens on days like this, the day that I was thrown out, the day that Tony Abbott was rolled as Prime Minister, the day that Malcolm Turnbull was rolled as Prime Minister, people resign in disgust. They think that hurts. They think that's a statement. It's not a statement. I valued my membership. These people that have been thrown out today would love to still be a member today. They want you out of the party. That's the message.
Trying to demoralise you, are they?
Stay in the party. No, every person that leaves, that's not on their side, is a good day for them. That makes them happy. They love it. Every person that goes, it's a good day, right? That's what they want. So don't give them a good day. Stay in the party and wait for the letter, and then complain.
Well, look, You know, as my audience knows, we're doing our how to vote cards for the state election. New South Wales is the home of Turning Point, and I think we're on track to get about 165,000 how to vote card downloads. I think I speak for the team when I say we don't like captain's picks, and we put all the captain's picks after Labor in the federal election, and we're pleased to say that 11 out of the 12 of those captain's picks didn't end up getting up in New South Wales.
Yeah, well.
And so, look, warning to the Liberal Party, you know, it's a democratic process according to you guys. Go for it. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but our audience will punish you for doing this. We're not. That's not democracy. The Greens are more democratic than you guys.
Can I say, Joel, on that though? The one person who did win would have actually won a pre-selection. So there was a captain's pick that matched or lined up with the local conference,
right?
And they would have won.
Yeah.
And they would have won. So they had the support, right? And so, I mean, it's a minor crime, I suppose, when you select the person who the members wanted. You can still win.
Yeah,
it really matters, right?
Yeah.
It really matters.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's about community representation now. So we're looking for good quality independence.
Right. Guys, as I open this segment, this is coming out on a Friday, and that is not an accident. They want to bury this story. If it came out yesterday, it would have been front page news today. So give this a share, get it out there. We're being heavily censored. Thank you so much again to Graham Hood for allowing us to use his page to get this out there, because Turning Point and Joel Jamal page, we're getting smashed. Give this a share, give it a like, get it out there. And if you're in the Liberal Party, now is the time. It's now or never. You've got to kick up a stink, especially in New South Wales. This is ridiculous.